is his wife, Maureen, who's become a great friend of my family, myself, and their 9 children: Anne, Jean, John, Catherine, Mary Claire, Paul, Matthew, Christopher, and Meg. You were very busy. Wow. Wow. I always knew I liked him.
I have no idea what he's talking about. All right. Now, in real life, you can have the best of times and the worst of times, but under the Trump-obsessed media, it's all bad all the time. And you know things are pretty good when the Trump's pissed off storyline gets trotted out.
President Trump isolated, growing more furious by the day. His mood dark and angry.
The president is lashing out at the Mueller probe. The president is said to be in a foul mood.
The president's state of mind is the worst it's been since the campaign, and that among the West Wing staff, there is a near universal sense of foreboding.
Ooh, a universal sense of foreboding. That's how I feel after eating Taco Bell. But Trump, he's mad, so mad that maybe he'll stage a coup.
In the sad event he does run, and he does lose, which would be a happy event, it would be stunning what we would see. He would be a president going, I'm not leaving. I'm not leaving. Can call the military. I mean, it is that. We have to look at this man. He really would do that.
I'm looking at that man. Fun fact, MSNBC made him in a lab with chicken wire and Botox paste. So now that the apocalypse has been postponed until after brunch, we must make do with the old chestnut. Trump's unstable. And no wonder, when some networks stop talking about how bad Trump is, what are you left with? Them. The empty talkers, the noisemakers in suits, jaw-clacking dolls with broken hinges and tummy tucks. They cling to Trump's mood like it's candy-colored Klonopin. Even as the news looks pretty good for America. He just scored a bipartisan win on prison reform. Even Van agrees.
The 99 times I don't agree with the president, I'm going to give him hell. But on this one, I'll give him a salute and an applause. We've got to come together to help the people at the bottom.
And while the networks OD on Trump rage, the president signed a measure Monday to create a new National Historic Park for Martin Luther King Jr. But wait, how can that be? How can Trump do this? Isn't he racist?
The president of the United States is racist.
Well, if he's a racist, he's really bad at it. Trump, the world's worst racist. You know, that's a great idea for a coffee mug. World's worst racist. Like, world's best. Yeah. No. Also missed, there was the Medal of Freedom honors. George Herman Babe Ruth Jr.
George Herman Babe Ruth Jr. He was a junior. I can imagine what his father was like.
I just love that. What's his father like? All right. Then you have Trump's arch hemorrhoid, the ambulance-chasing chuckle bucket, Michael Avenatti. Busted. Now, this isn't funny. He was busted on suspicion of striking a woman, allegedly. Of course, the cad is innocent until proven guilty. That's what good people believe in, even if people like him don't. He could be innocent as Brett Kavanaugh was when Avenatti was tormenting him. I just hope the media does a little soul-searching after booking this clown incessantly. The media soul-searching, that's like looking for Bigfoot. It's not so long ago Avenatti was their darling. CNN and MSNBC were junkies to his anti-Trump crack. But now he's toxic. And so the media that loved you pretends you never dated. It's like me in my Backstreet Boys pajamas. I pretend I never owned them, but for years I wore them under my school uniform. Which leads me to a new, huge landmark study on media trust. The Hollywood Reporter surveyed thousands of people on who's the most trusted name in news. Now, I don't want to say the surprising anchor who blew away the competition, so we'll just throw to this video. Stop it. Scarborough, dead last. Maybe he should have stuck to whatever he was doing before TV.
When do we get the check? How does this work?
I also beat Chris Cuomo and Don Lemon. I wonder how they took that.
Don't be so sensitive, Chris.
I'm sorry.
Cuomo. Okay, thank you. Everything is not about you, okay?
I'm sorry.
Somebody looks like he better get after it. But like I always say, when life gives you Don Lemons, go watch Greg Gutfeld. I also bested Rachel Maddow. How can that be, Rachel?
I usually have so many words. I have the best words. For this, I have no words. Seriously, this just happened. Woohoo!
To quote Rachel, woohoo! All right, but even I gotta admit, this is weird. There's something wrong when I'm more trusted than Wolf Blitzer. How can that be? He's boring, and he has a beard, which makes him instantly trustworthy. I mean, I'm flattered by this, but I'm also terrified. Me trusted by you? I don't even trust myself. I won't even be alone with me. But here's the real problem. The list had mixed commentators with reporters, which is stupid. FNC has both, but we clearly label what's what. Other networks, they aren't as clear, which is why so many people mistake opinion for fact, which leads to fake news. No wonder people think Trump is crazy or insane. It's an opinion coming from their news sources. And that isn't healthy. If we only had something for that.
He would be a president going, I'm not leaving. I'm not leaving. Can call the military. I mean, is that...
Trump is going to engineer a coup. He's going to round up families and separate children. He's going to imprison women and turn them into baby-making factories.
Hold on there, partner. Where'd you come up with this?
Well, just watching TV and talking to my friends.
Sounds like you need new friends.
New friends? Tell me more.
New Friends is not a drug, but a group of people who present a different set of opinions that more clearly reflect reality than the talking heads on TV.
Wow, sounds great. Where do I start?
First, you'll want to go outside. Then maybe go to a hardware store, or a grocery store, or a local church. No playgrounds. Then initiate conversation without mentioning politics.
Writes a new novel, author of Up in the Air and columnist at Harper's Mag, Walter Kern. He's a comedian by night and a guy in his underwear by day. Writer and comedian Joe DeVito. She's smirky, quirky, and a fan of beef jerky. National Review reporter Kat Timpf. His stature is iconic. His dinner plate's tectonic. Former WWE superstar, massive sidekick, and starting November 28th, host of Un-PC on Fox Nation, Tyrus. All right, Walter. You've been traveling the country. Give us your pulse. Is it as dark? Is the mood dark? Is it foreboding?
You mean, is the mood of the country the same as Trump's mood is supposedly?
Yes.
No, the country is partying like crazy. You get out there, people who haven't had jobs in 17 years are like, can I buy you lunch? But the Trump thing, here's what's happening. They did all the president's men. Robert Mueller, he's closing in, all the reporters. Now they've moved on to the final days,
right.
Which was the next Woodward Bernstein book about Nixon praying, to portraits late at night. So in their inability to imagine anything other than a Nixonian president,
right.
They're going even further.
Yeah. Any thoughts on Avenatti?
No.
Excellent.
No. They say he looks like a certain male organ. And I've never thought that. That's my only thought.
I've never thought that either until now. Joe, you haven't been traveling the country. In fact, you've been a shut-in since
I've been holed up.
Yes. What are your thoughts on any topic from the monologue you see fit?
I think Avenatti, if you saw him playing an evil lawyer in a movie, Pacino would say that's a little over the top. He's really pushing it. I like how Donnie Deutsch says that Donald Trump wouldn't respect the results of an election. Gee, who does that sound like?
It's true. It's true. By the way, I like your beard. Kat, what do you make of my award? Actually, it wasn't an award. It was my rating as being one of the most trusted men in news. You probably saw that coming.
I'm just so happy to see you happy, Greg.
Yeah, thank you.
Anything else?
No. What are your thoughts?
I'm just so glad that I am not the president and that I don't have everyone in the media analyzing my mental state all day, every day. I was just looking at that and imagining what stories they'd say about me.
Yes.
They'd be like, she wakes up every morning next to an elf bobblehead doll. You know, like, she makes us listen to Return of the Mac on repeat during national security briefings. You know, I own like 23 pairs of penguin socks. Why does she keep tweeting about lizards at 3 in the morning? And why is she always alone? But thankfully, nobody knows any of those things.
No, not at all. We know very little about you. Tyrus? For one thing, you made an excellent point that Stormy's life was far better before Avenatti. Yeah. And so this is a guy who actually ruined a woman's life.
No, he didn't ruin any woman's life. He ruined a porn star's life. That takes skill and talent. Your characterization of Avenatti was not fair to pancreases everywhere. That's just not fair. Not fair. They got a tough job, you know, digesting wood.
Don't they still owe Trump money?
Yes.
That's the best.
Right.
And see, apparently you were out on a mission. I covered this a few weeks ago.
Oh, okay.
I don't know where you were, writing a book or something. But
sorry, Tyrus.
When she started, she was a director.
Yes.
She was going places, but she wasn't unveiling in those places. She was middle management, let's say. Mm-hmm. She had gotten money. Mm-hmm. She signed away. She was able to move on with her life and not relive it. And then he came along, dragged it all out. He did TV shows. He got famous. She got 2 bills, one from the president and one from the pancreas.
Yes.
And then today she came out and said, if this is true, I'm out. Even if it's not true, Stormy, you don't take advice this time? Get out.
Yeah. It's incredible.
Oh, and sorry, one more thing I get upset about this. Because our president is so transparent, the president's pissed. I liked President Obama, don't you dare. But I'm pretty sure when he lost the House in the Senate, it wasn't cherries and smiles in the White House that day.
Yeah.
I'm sure there was a lot of who you looking at? Like, what do you want me to do? I don't think it was just, well, here we go, guys. Let's all gather around and sing songs together. I'm sure some people's jobs were being threatened. Yeah. I'm sure he's like, well, the polls, like, I'm sure it was an unhappy time.
Yeah.
So for them to say he's so mad, they want him to be mad. And I don't know why he doesn't play it off. Like, he should just slam the door in the White House, walk out in the front yard, why? And then walk back in and then like throw stuff around, like live it up, you know?
Yeah, okay, I got to move on. But what's the irony here is that Donald Trump treated Stormy Daniels better than Michael Avenatti did because she got paid. Yeah. He paid her, and it was a transaction that she was happy with until he entered her life and said, no, get more for me. And that has complicated matters for her to no end. But enough of that. We got more to talk about up next. Dozens of Democrats may run for the presidential nomination. Look at that. We wrote... Sadly, only one will get the nomination. Oh, Yep, according to not one but 2 Democratic insiders, it's happening. And one of them was Hillary's pollster, so he knows what he's doing. They said so in the Wall Street Journal, referring to her as Hillary 4.0. That's clever. According to the piece, she won't let losing to Trump be the last page of her career. And she has a 75% approval rating among Democrats. Yeah. And they scoff at other Dems thinking of running, calling them amateurs. The last line says it all. Quote, she may enter the race later, but rest assured that Hillary 4.0 is on the way. Oh, I'm resting assured. Believe me, I'm resting as assured as this guy. I hope he's asleep. Somebody check on the dog. Joe, what are your thoughts?
I think you're not allowed to have a 4.0 after your name. You get a 2.0.
Yes.
And then it's time to go away.
Yes, go away 0.0.
Yeah. How is... They keep saying she's going to reinvent yourself. When you reinvent yourself, you have to go away, then come back. You don't get to stick around.
Yes.
Because if you never go away, then people look at what you invented yourself as the first time and realize that you were full of it.
Yeah.
They need to get rid of her and look at Bernie Sanders, Joe Biden, the kind of fresh young blood the Democratic Party needs.
Well, Kat, theoretically, with the transfusions, it is fresh young blood.
Yeah. Look, I just think that the amount of people that are thinking of running is just further solidifies in my mind that Trump's going to win again. Because they're all going to be beating each other up. It's like...
But could the way Trump became the contrast to 19, could one person end up being the contrast to like 20?
It's still like if two people were running a physical race.
Right.
And one of them had just had to run another physical race, but like while they're running, they're also getting punched in the face.
Right. Tyrus, what do you make of this field, this vast field?
I agree with them. I think she probably will run again.
Yeah.
And honestly, she's got the money, and that's probably why she will run again. Everyone else doesn't necessarily have the money. But here's the thing. History kind of is a crystal ball if you look back at things. Typically, when a president loses the House, which happened, and then eventually maybe he might even lose the Senate in 2020, that's usually America's way of saying, enjoy your next 4 years.
Right.
Like, that just seems the way it worked. Obama was a one-term president, and they got the House and they got the Senate, and that's it for him, and we're going to send all these great guys. It was Mitt Romney, okay. But he won.
Yeah.
And I think it's the same thing. They're going to have everyone's going to run.
Right.
Me and Kat might run just for giggles.
Yeah, why not?
Just to ruin the evening.
Yes.
But they'll get to the point and they'll have their one star come out, and then that's when Hillary jumps in.
Yeah.
And then she'll spread her money around, and then somehow that guy will not get the votes at the Democratic deal, and she'll get the deal. It'll be the same thing. So it doesn't matter who really runs. I think the country has decided that he's got 8 years to do what he needs to do, regardless of the House and Senate.
I already have my campaign platform.
What's your campaign platform?
My campaign platform would be, I vote no on everything unless it's to repeal existing legislation. So, small government, yes on TIMF for no on everything.
Oh, I like that. Walter, last word on this, on the race. What do you think?
Listen, Hillary running for president is not news. Since I've been 6 years old, Hillary has been running for president. I saw that Billy Joel is doing his 60-second comeback at the Madison Square Garden. That will be news, the 62nd time she runs for president. First of all, it reminds me of the $6 Million Man. Every once in a while, they had to take off his face and then put a new chip in. 4.0, I mean, all computers have 4.0. You know?
I have this theory that she's going to run and then they're going to pull a 2008 with Michelle Obama pushing her aside the way Barack Obama did. Oh, would that be sweet? Would that be sweet?
Not again.
Yes, again.
And you know what would happen? That will be the night that she drops the N-bomb.
Yeah.
That's the night. That's the night it's going to go on. I'm telling you. The real Hillary's going to come out.
Oh, my God. All right.
She's going to be like, you.
Up next, which political party hates the other party more? The results will blow your mind, or maybe just your nose. And don't forget, I'll be doing 2 live shows next month called the Gutfeld Monologues, live Grand Rapids, Michigan, December 2nd, and December 8th in San Antonio, Texas, plus special guest Tom Shalhoub. Ticket ball, not many though. Go to gutfeld.com. Gutfeld.
I'm Lauren Blanchard. A desperate search tonight for the nearly 1,300 unaccounted for in the California wildfires. 79 people have died in the raging flames 76 in Northern California's Camp Fire. That's now the worst blaze in the state's history. Earlier today, President Trump got a first-hand look at the devastation. He vowed to help the victims recover, rebuild, and to prevent future catastrophic blazes. Thousands of residents are homeless and living in makeshift shelters. Overseas, the mystery of a lost Argentinian submarine is solved. Its wreckage was found this weekend just a year after it vanished with 44 sailors. The ARA San Juan submarine was located nearly 3,000 feet beneath the ocean surface. The captain reported mechanical issues shortly before the sub went down. I'm Lauren Blanchard. Now back to the Greg Gutfeld Show.
It's the common view. They really hate you. A recent Axios poll finds that more than 60% of Democrats view Republicans as racist, bigoted, and sexist. 60%. That's 6 out of 10 people. Yep. Yet, only 30% of Republicans said the same thing about Democrats. That's 3 out of 10 people. Like to simplify it, the poll asked if you would describe the other party today as racist, bigoted, and sexist, so it pretty much set up the answer for liberals to point fingers and then feel really superior about it. As usual, the right thinks the left is wrong, but the left thinks you're stinking evil. So is there a way to change minds, or is this how it's always going to be? Jets fans hate the Giants, Raiders hate the 49ers, and cats hate Schwarzenegger films.
Let's watch Total Recall, kitty. Oh, come on, kitty.
And you know, it's weird because it's some of his best work, Total Recall. And Sharon Stone was in that, I believe, Kat. What do you make of this survey?
I think that there are definitely some Republicans that are racist. I think that there are also definitely some Democrats that are racist. I don't think that whether you're racist or sexist has to do with what your political party is. I think it has to do with whether or not you're a racist and a sexist.
That's right.
I don't know. But this was really upsetting to see because you think about the lack of civility in politics now, and this makes perfect sense that these would be the answers that, oh, you actually think this entire party is full of garbage people just because of the party that they belong to. So no wonder they're not treating people civilly. And things need to actually change. People need to face reality a little bit, or things are going to keep getting worse.
Getting worse, Tyrus. Will it get any better?
No.
No?
Every one of you. What's that, 30 and 60? That's 90% of this room is a bunch of racists. I knew it. No, Walter. No, see?
I'm not going to defend myself.
Okay, don't.
I found this actually shocking. That means there are 4 out of 10 Democrats who think that Republicans aren't racist.
Yes. Here's the thing.
I want to know where they're hiding.
You know what's funny is because whenever this stuff comes up, especially conservatives get really uncomfortable. So when this question was asked, even if they thought the Democrats were there, what racist? What do you mean? You talking? Do I think people are racist? God, no. Why? I love everybody. It's not me, right? No, I'm not racist. So of course they're not racist, and the Democrats blame everything on everybody anyway. So that's easy. Yes, they're all racist, especially the big one on Fox. He's one of the worst racists.
Here's my other point. Since when have Democrats and Republicans been in the same room together enough lately to know what each other are?
To share a good racist joke.
I mean,
I mean, that's the only way to know. Greg, tell everyone a racist joke.
All right, well, I'm glad you brought this up. So anyway.
Greg, go ahead. Tell a racist joke. I'll get his show one day. Do it.
We'll edit this out, right? When I say this joke. When I say this, okay, here it goes.
Get your phones out.
Joe, tell that joke I told you in the green room.
Well, I think when you talk about jokes, you know, I think with my group of friends that when I'm in talking to people from different races and ethnic groups, sure, I make a lot of stereotype jokes, and do they ever complain about it? You know, I never asked. But I don't think, it goes to show like it's the 2 biggest problems I see are confirmation bias and cognitive dissonance. That people start by cherry picking which facts and opinions they want to have about people, and they decide from what agrees with their emotions, and then at the end, if it doesn't match up, it's too jarring, and they don't think that they've made a mistake. They think, well, reality must be wrong. And we see that now with their blame. You had the idiot in Baltimore who yelled up and yelled anti-Semitic stuff during Fiddler on the Roof, and they said Trump support. He wasn't a Trump supporter, yet he was so moved by Fiddler on the Roof after a couple of drinks to get up and yell Heil Hitler about Trump.
Yeah.
But the story goes out that he was a Trump supporter. He's a guy who hated Trump.
Exactly.
But the retraction never ends up on the front page.
No, and even if they do the retraction, only a few people see it, and everything else. The initial article that called him a Trump supporter everywhere, retraction was, actually, he hated Trump.
Yeah.
That's like 3 retweets. Should I share my theory on sleep racism?
Sure, why not? We're all friends here.
Well, you know, there are times when you're asleep and you talk in your sleep, and it could be sleep racism. Are you responsible?
Yeah.
Okay, just checking.
Especially if you're sleeping with a brother in the room. You have no problem.
Damn it. All right. Up next, I love this topic. They scam the media who help them scam a country. We pretend to care about them. Next. Right, they pulled a scam using a homeless man. Remember that, quote, feel-good story about the couple that started a GoFundMe page for the homeless guy that supposedly gave him his last 20 bucks when the woman ran out of gas, and people came together and raised 400 grand for them? Well, it turns out it was a giant ripoff, and they were all in on it. All three were charged with theft by deception and are looking at jail time. Yeah. GoFundMe says anyone who donated money to these clowns will get their money back. There are two lessons here. One, don't believe everything you read on the internet. And two, see item 1. Skepticism and critical thinking are good, but so is giving. And it is the giving season. You don't have to let the three jerks ruin it for you. Do your homework. Find a worthy cause. For example, not this. My God, that was long. Tyrus, the whole setup was too perfect. You smelled a rat, right?
Yeah, I would agree with you. I believe this. Like, first of all, I don't like GoFundMe anyways. I think it should be give me advice or something in the right direction page opposed to sending people money because it really gets abused a lot. This is this was a large case where so many people jumped in on us. And of course, what you often said, when's the last time a homeless guy had a crisp 20 on him? Like usually. Who's donating out there?
Yeah.
You know, because usually it's coins, twos, and fews.
Yes.
Excuse me, I couldn't help but hearing you complain about your gas, young lady. Oh, yes, homeless guy. Here's $20. And she's like, it wouldn't have went that far. He would have had mace. The boyfriend would have hit him, you know, and on his way down, some dollars would have fell out. Urine-stained dollars would have fell out, and they would have been like, sorry, bro, we need this car. And then they would have gave the $5 and drove off. Like, the whole story was terrible. And they turned on each other.
Yeah, they turned on each other.
They tried not to pay him.
Yes, yeah. The homeless guy found out that they were spending money at casinos and crap, and then he sued them. It was just like one of those simple plans that fall apart, Walter, because they all get greedy.
The Treasure of the Sierra Madre was like that.
I'll agree, even though I never saw it.
Here's the problem with GoFundMe. Everybody has it now. I wonder why I even have a job. The other thing is, I feel like when I was a kid and I was the only kid who didn't have a phone in his room, I'm the only person who doesn't have a GoFundMe. The disgraced politicians have them. Who's giving money to GoFundMe? I mean, who's doing it?
It's virtue signaling, liberal guilt. That's what's doing it. But don't, in a weird way, I got to give them credit for being so disgusting and clever about their disgusting, Joe, is it?
Yeah, well, I think it distracts from the real purpose of GoFundMe, which is to allow people to feel better than other people.
Yes.
By publicly giving, whereas you can do it in two different ways. You can actually see someone who's struggling, and you can bring them some food.
Right.
So you know that the money doesn't go to whatever vice is troubling them. You can do that. Yeah. Or you can give to a legitimate charity.
Right.
Just because you want to plink something and get a little surge of dopamine or serotonin because look what I did.
Right.
I donated. Everybody check it out, my comment. But these people, they reminded me of in Goodfellas when they do the Lufthansa heist, and it's like, keep it quiet, and everybody comes in, because they bought a BMW.
Yeah,
they're walking around in furs and stuff.
But it's my wife's birthday.
Yeah.
It's my wife's birthday.
We're supposed to spend...
It's her mother's name.
And nobody needs, what, they raise $400,000?
Yes.
That's a lot of gas. How much gas do you need?
Yeah.
What kind of Buick are you driving that you need $400,000 worth of gas?
That's amazing. Kat, will this make people more skeptical about really sincere... There's stuff on GoFundMe for real problems, but no one's going to believe it.
Nah, I think people are pretty dumb.
Oh,
yeah. And these people, I mean, they could have gotten away with this, but they just started to compete with each other for the money, and then they started snitching on each other. So there is another lesson here that you did not mention.
What?
Don't scam people generally, but if you're going to, don't scam with acquaintances. Scam with family only. That's why the mafia works.
Oh, interesting.
You know what, Kat? I hate to disagree with you, but most mafia stories end with murder, conviction, and somebody telling on somebody. So it always ends this way. Do it yourself, and if it gets iffy, do yourself in.
There you go.
Samurai's death, not getting it out of me.
The one thing we overlooked is that the other culprit in this is the media, who never bothered to really check this story out because it was too perfect. So every news program put it at the end of their show or did something with it, and they just ate up and no producer said, this really smells. They didn't, because the story, they wanted to fill 3 minutes.
And why did they go? Why did they go with 20? If they would have gone with 5 or something, then maybe I would have believed it.
Yeah.
But it's like, oh, this homeless guy gave me his last $100 bill. Like,
you know, what'd be great is a new game show called Real or Fake, and you create legit causes with some scams in, and then the audience pledges money, and the one who wins, if it turns out to be fake, we round up the people that pledge and put them in jail. Terrible idea. A new version of Monopoly that will make you throw up through your eyeballs. That's next. Experiences include crashing on a friend's couch or visiting a vegan bistro or a yoga studio. For more, we asked a typical millennial to comment. That was amazing. I didn't expect that. Kat, apparently you're still a millennial.
Yeah.
Does this game offend you?
yes, but I also don't understand how the game doesn't realize that it's essentially an argument against itself.
Right.
Because the whole point of the game, I guess, is to convey the idea that experiences are what's most important in life.
Mm-hmm.
If people playing the game actually receive that message, they're going to say, what the hell are we doing in this basement playing Monopoly?
Yes.
But as a millennial who likes money,
mm-hmm.
I would like to say this does offend me. It's communist.
Okay, there you go. All right, I'll take that, Joe.
I don't know who would want to play this bummer game where it's like if you played Trouble, it was for STDs every time you push the pop-o-matic. They should come out with more toys and games from when we were growing up. They should have a gluten-free Easy Bake Oven.
Oh,
would be good. Maybe Candyland for diabetics.
Oh, very good, very good.
Which would be nice. But they should make this more realistic and just have all of the squares just be green and have a Starbucks on them, so you can sit there with your laptop.
I have a good one. How about like update Twister and call it Nap? No. So you just get the map out and you just take a nap on it, Walter.
I don't know a single millennial with the attention span to finish a game of Monopoly.
True.
Yeah, this one actually doesn't come with any of the money. You have to get that from an older version.
Nicely done, Tyrus. Do you predict this will do well?
This is what it's all about.
What?
This is where we're at.
Yep.
9th place is good now.
Yep.
He's getting down like Trump. Somebody needs to intervene.
He's getting mad.
I live by a I wish creed.
Mm-hmm.
I wish I would come home and see my children playing that game. I would put the fear of real Monopoly in them. I'll be the banker. I get the car.
Mm-hmm.
House rules on free parking. And it's a game to help you manage your money and buy things and succeed. Deals are struck on Monopoly.
Right.
You got Boardwalk. I got Park Place. I want Marvin Gardens. Let's make a deal. That's how you learn.
Yes. Yes.
Now it's, you want that? I want that? Okay. It's both of ours.
Yeah.
Monopoly is a sharing economy.
Yeah, not in my house.
Yeah. Could I just stay on the couch at Park Place?
You know what? Come on. Like, that's a skill set.
Yes.
To be the guy on the couch from Half Baked. That's your life. It's not, this isn't fair to millennials. Like, this is not fair.
Yeah.
I just want to punch the little Monopoly in his little, what is it now? It's not an Oracle. That's probably culturally stealing from somebody.
And the little rich guy with the hat?
I'm sure he's not a rich guy anymore. He's a rich thing, person, tree. But why do every generation has these people that just don't do.
Yeah.
But for some reason, the cat millennials of the world get no press time.
No, it's true.
But the dude on her couch gets all the press time. Like it's like the people that are the millennials that are work don't talk about you dudes on your couch.
I was just saying,
it's not fair to millennials that the ones who are working hard and they get no press, but the dude on the couch at mom's house gets all the coverage.
And you know what it is? It's also not millennials. It's actually the generation after the millennials that are the issue. Those are the ones that don't want free speech on their campuses. And actually, not all of them, but they're that generation, which is, what is it, Y? Generation Y? Or
just call them Generation Oatmeal.
Z, Generation Z. We're old, aren't we?
Yeah. I used to play Monopoly with my grandpa, who is the greatest generation.
Mm-hmm.
He played like for 10 minutes, then he got super hammered, and, you know, everybody forgot the rules, and, you know, it went away. That was how Monopoly went.
You really needed a get out of jail card for him.
Exactly.
Then towards the end of the night, it's like, we were playing Monopoly.
How will prison reform affect the get out of jail free card?
That's true. That's true.
We're updating.
There'll probably be like twice as many cards now. All right, up next, you want to see something Tyrus and I did one night after the show? You can if you've joined Fox Nation. If not, there's still time. More details next.